on the forthcoming story to be told?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and so there's a couple of things with that. One, of course, we're drawing on all of the history of Middle-earth, not just the events we see in Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, but the second and even the first age that we sort of see in the appendices and right through the history. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, cool. If she can just wait for us. Oh, she's going to die? All right, Jessica died. I'll come back to that in a sec. I'm just going to answer this one quickly. So we know what's going to happen in Lord of the Rings, and that's 60 years in the future. But what was really interesting to us was to explore some of the unknown sides of those events, of why they happen, how they sort of play out as they did. In particular, exploring Sauron as a character. Because by the time we see him in Lord of the Rings, he's a pretty abstract figure of evil, whereas actually he's got a lot of really rich history. He's a great character, exploring kind of the secret history of the Rings of Power. But also, we learn in Lord of the Rings that Sauron is not able to take fair form again, but nothing tells us why he wasn't able to be there, coming out present with his armies and charge out. Why he was sort of confined in Mordor during the War of the Rings. So there's kind of interesting questions for us to explore, and why is it that things got set up in such a way that the good guys ultimately got to win in Lord of the Rings. So that you can make a big difference.
So who died? Jessica died?
Oh, thank you for that reminder. Yeah, so this is really interesting. So this is one of the risks of taking that kind of headlong. Oh, she's on.
So this is Jessica now.
Excellent. So she's back. It's daytime. If we go into the army screen again, after we finish off this guy. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's a lot of death down the front here. I didn't see exactly what the world was like before, but we can see a lot of these captains that she's managed to take down. A lot of vacant slots. Also, a lot of new enemies, those black silhouettes that have taken the opportunity that times move forward to move in. A lot of the higher positions in the sort of army screen where they've moved up, and that there are in fact still 5 war chiefs, up there within this area as well. So that's like a really good example. And there should be. Oh, she didn't die to one of the captain. She obviously died to a monster, a Graug. They're really incredibly dangerous, both to you and your enemies. But if it had have been one of these Uruk captains, that would be a revenge target. That actually is another way you get an opportunity at those epic runes as well. Is MK Ultra, is there new game plus? So what we have is beyond we basically have kind of end game plus, in that you can, obviously you could of course start the game again, but we want you to be able to continue to explore the world, go after your enemies, play with the Nemesis system, continue to progress and upgrade after the game finishes. So we open up the world for you after the end of the story. Right. Can you, Itachi Killer, can you only pin enemies by the foot? Yes, the pin ability works there, definitely.
What engine is this game built on?
Monolith.
Okay, yeah, I'll let Kevin answer that.
Let's hear it.
Big up technology. It's a lot of people. Technology used to be known as LithTech, but it's proprietary. Been
Seriously?
development over 20 years.
Are you serious?
20 years. 20 years it's been development.
Wait, are you serious? You guys made this?
Yes, this is our technology.
Holy sweet! I didn't know that. I thought you guys licensed Unreal or something. Wow!
License Unreal.
I know.
You mad?
I thought eventually you had given in, right?
No.
So this is Monolith Tech. So what that means is, by the way, since a lot of games use Unreal, you've gotten used to how it does things, what the expectation is, and all this other stuff. Since this is a totally proprietary engine that they built, you don't know what's coming. You have no idea. You can't even act like you know what's coming. So it's going to be a totally unique experience for you. And the game, I'm sitting here looking at it on a big screen, and I can tell you, it looks really, really good. Yeah.
So Brian is going to try something crazy, so he might die.
Really?
Ryan is about to try something crazy.
What's Ryan trying? What's he doing?
Mission. So why is your mission so hard to run?
Ryan's gotten in here. I think we got Ryan up on this screen, so he's about to draw out one of these war chiefs.
Looks like, yeah, he's in there.
To draw this guy out, he's going to have to kill the hunters. So the objective to get this showdown, get this war chief out. We can see the guys who are marked with the orange icons over their heads, not that awareness icon. Can see them on the mini map. That's what it's going to take to draw this guy out. Kevin's reliably informed me that this is going to be tough. I don't know why.
Then Ryan tells me it's not going to be tough.
Oh, okay. So
that's just Ryan bragging.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe he's even dominated some of the bodyguards of this guy, so we could see a bit of how that plays out as well.
Now, this has been asked a few times, and you may have answered it already, which is, after the story ends,
Yep.
how do you play after that? How do you continue to play?
It's anyone a little bit hesitant in sort of answering that is not wanting to give too many spoilers away of how the story ends.
Okay, so let me answer then. The answer is they've thought about that greatly, which means that there is an answer. But they can't tell you because why do you get to know what happens after the end of the game if you haven't earned the ending?
Yeah, so we don't want spoilers, but you absolutely do get to continue to explore the world. Oh, this guy, Amug the Claw, he's fun. So we can see he's got that nice missing hand there as well. That's sort of
Stumpy.
some previous
Stumpy
battle.
the Claw.
Stumpy, yes. What else have we got here?
Can we have someone else do the contest questions, please? What do you mean? You can't hear them?
Oh, she's sore because I told her she wasn't specific enough when she said rune.
As opposed to which rune? Amug the Claw is getting ambushed. Oh, that's interesting. So Ryan's actually in the middle of a mission that's taking place between two different captains. So if either of these guys survived this mission, the victor would actually level up. So here it goes. That's been resolved. Rug the Watcher, even though it's Talion that's actually taken down his opponent, he still gets the credit for that victory, so he's actually going to level up. So he's up to power level 10. So that would be a really good example if that was one of your followers, someone you've branded, how you can actually farm that system to make them even more powerful. So, oh, sorry, that was actually Bob and the amazing tactics. I should have recognized that at once just by its pure genius. Okay, and then there's a rune to pick up out of exploiting that as well, and unlocking more sort of rune slots to make this even more powerful as well. So that's kind of paying off nicely. Who's up the top? Is that Ryan up the top as well? Okay. Oh wow, I missed this battle as well. Sorry, I missed exactly what happened with this war chief, but so now, okay, so Ryan's got the choice to kill or dominate this war chief. I think because he's showing how domination works, we're actually going to get this guy, bend him to our will, and make him part of our army. And then maybe we can level him up even further as well. So if Ryan hits the command option, we've got a war chief now. He's got one bodyguard, which is great. He'll bring them to different missions. Now, this riot, I saw a question earlier, which was how big can the battles get? You can take these war chiefs, they have their bodyguards, those bodyguards have their followers, and then you can match these guys up against each other. So these are kind of pretty big smackdowns between the sort of rival gangs and rival war chiefs that you can set up and create as well. And then there's also, within the story missions, some other kind of pretty epic battles as well.
So Jessica just...
Oh, excellent. So this is actually a battle report. So this is what we see after death takes place. So this silhouette, this is a new guy that's moving into position. We don't know who he is. He could be someone we've met before. He has memories of us. He could be new. These other guys that are getting promoted, they were ones who are on missions in the world. And now as well, we can see that red triangle on that bodyguard on Prak the Black Blade. I've got a feeling he's not long for this world. If we zoom in on him, I think he got lucky. He's deep inside the Nern fishery, which is one of the strongholds, and he's now designated as a revenge target. So Jessica doesn't know his strengths and weaknesses, but I'm pretty sure she's not going to worry about going through all that, and she's just going to head after him and wreak a terrible vengeance upon him. Go get him. Okay. Do the Rangers still... Oh, sorry. C. Mallon? Is that Matt Allen? Is that someone from work? No. It could be. Do the Rangers still hold Carcost and Narcos? So the Towers of the Teeth on the Black Gates, they have held them for a couple of millennia at the start of our game. Oops,
So with a minute until the break,
Yes.
we're gonna do one more quick question because this is a long one. Might require some Google foo. Guys, remember that if you register for a WBID, you get the exclusive Orc Hunter rune. That's for you, Kat. And the pre-order exclusive is the Dark Rangers character skin. All right, the question to win the next shirt is, what are the names of Talion's weapons?
What are the names of Talion's weapons to win a shirt? And we're gonna go into a commercial break in 20 seconds. What are the names of Talion's weapons? Let's hear it. And in the meanwhile, in 10 seconds, we are gonna go to like a quick little break. Not some long commercial. It's just more information on the game. So off we go.
We continue our gameplay feature series by exploring Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis system. The Nemesis system creates personal interactions with your unique enemies. Every enemy will remember their encounters with you.
Killed you? Now you're back? Just my rotten luck.
A coward could try to flee to fight another day,
I'm not staying around for this. Another day!
or a loyal captain could defend their master to the death.
You want my master? You gotta come through me. You ain't coming through me.
A warrior that strikes a death blow against Talion will gloat in a future encounter.
Is this some kind of joke? I killed you already.
Every reaction is informed by a combination of unique personality traits and past interactions, evolving the world around you in surprising ways.
Don't you move or I'll miss. I hate that.
Using the power of the Wraith, you may choose how to disrupt Sauron's war machine by creating power struggles within Orc society. Grow the power of your forces by helping them successfully complete missions. Or bring down Sauron's army from within by commanding your enemies to battle one another. Duels, beast hunts, and feasts.
Time to feast.
The Nemesis system creates a living, breathing, dynamic Orc society within Mordor, enabling every player to create their own unique villains and stories, and ensuring no two playthroughs are ever the same. As you kill, dominate, and terrify your way through the ranks of Sauron's forces, you can ultimately build your own powerful army, challenging the Dark Lord and bending Mordor to your will.
We are back. We've got Monolith here, and we got Shadow of Mordor, and the Nemesis system being demonstrated live on 3 simultaneous PS4s in our broadcast. You see them from the left to right on the bottom of our broadcast. You got Jessica, you got Ryan, and Rob Squared. That's what I call him, Rob Squared, because Rob Robert. Anyway, we're doing giveaways. We're answering secret questions, because you're smart enough to tune in. If you're watching this on Twitch, you won't be able to click on the player and select which camera you want to highlight and make big. If you go to twingalaxieslive.com, you see the same broadcast, but you can click and choose and control what viewpoint that you want to see, never losing visibility on the whole thing. It's up to you. I'm here with Michael, who is the uber designer of Monolith, overseeing the entire known universe. And he is going to take us through this game and show us things. If you're just tuning in, those of you who've been here, get ready for more giveaways, because we're giving away T-shirts that you could only have gotten at E3. You can get them here. It's the last bit, so stick around.
All right, cool. Thank you. Yeah, right. So where we've actually gotten to, so Bob, Jessica, Ryan, they're kind of each taking different strategies, different approaches. Ryan has actually got to the point whereby dominating one of these war chiefs, he's now able to command him and has created a riot. And this is basically a kind of little gang war between two war chiefs. It could be bigger if we invested more and they each had more bodyguards. That could scale it up. But gives a bit of an idea of how this works. So with these two kind of gangs squaring off against each other. So these guys here with the blue icons with the wraith glow in the eyes against Otha the Disgusting, and he's a rival war chief, and they've each sort of brought their bodyguards to this fight as well. Oh, so that's really interesting, actually. Good job, Ryan. Even on the enemy side, Otha the Disgusting, the rival war chief, one of his bodyguards, that guy with the blue there, who's just laying into this fellow, Mormog Hothead, he's actually been branded as well. So, you know, Ryan's really invested that bit of extra effort to dominate this guy as well. So if we can, he's doing it. If he can manage to eliminate that war chief, he's got a ready-made bodyguard that's going to move up and take that position, and then he's going to have two war chiefs bent to his will and be, you know, well on his way to sort of building that army that we'd then be able to take into the final part of the game. So cool. So see how that plays out over there as well, and I think we can check some other...
So some people are asking, what was the correct answer for the question? Okay. There it is.
Raphael, Akarn, and Ascar.
And did we get a winner?
We got 2 winners.
We had 2 winners.
Yep. WinKid and Matthew.
See,
00190.
You tune into a broadcast, you're seeing like exclusive look at a game, you're winning things. I mean, what else do you want? My God, we got the designer here. For the love of Pete.
So many good questions.
All these great questions, you're learning about the game. You didn't even have to go to E3. You could, right here now, this is the only game you needed to care about at E3. Anyway.
Cool. So, Motel Moxie. Okay, a time period between Sauron's return and the retaking of Minas Morgul. Is the city Minas Morgul or Minas Ithil during the game? So, yeah, that's a really great question. It is one of the things where actually, for the purpose of our story, we are actually following with the timeline in the movies. So it's all the same events that, of course, we see in Middle-earth, but what we do is associate Sauron and the Necromancer and his fall and his time of Dol Guldur with the defeat of the Nazgul. So the Witch King and the Nazgul have not yet returned from their defeat, and it is in fact at this point still Minas Ithil, the Tower of the Moon, City of the Moon, not Minas Morgul, the City of Sorcery at this point.
Hold on a sec.
Ooh, okay.
We've not yet thrown any questions to Skype. So the people who are Skyped in live right now, is there anything that you want to ask? We can hear you if you say something. Guru, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So what, you guys are just being totally satisfied by all the Q&A? No one's got anything to say? See, look, they're nervous because there's so many people watching. All right, well, that's the end of Skype's chance to Skype in. Although, if you're watching and you go to TwinGalaxiesLive.com, you can Skype in to Twin Galaxies Live 4 and Twin Galaxies Live 8 and ask questions live straight to the master designer himself.
Actually, there's some really great questions. Sorry, I've forgotten where they came from. But the what does Brutalize do? I really like that. That's one of my favorite abilities in the game. It really lets you come out of stealth and just enter into combat in a really terrifying and dominant way. So basically, it's a different type of stealth kill. As you sneak up, you grab your target and you actually do a flurry. So you stab them repeated times, and that does 2 things. One, it ups your hit counter, and increasing your hit counter is the way to get access to all the special moves, the cord moves, these decapitations, all of these other area attacks, race skills, combat domination. And secondly, because it is so brutal, it actually terrifies enemies, so it enables you to make guys break and run in the same way. So, you know, it's a really powerful way to come out of stealth and into combat. Oh, Ryan just died. So this guy, we can see that just killed him, Barfa. He was just a regular berserker in the world until now. This has been his big chance to move up. So he wasn't a captain. He's now taken down the Grave Walker by defeating Ryan. And we can see here, not only is he moving in to the hierarchy, but in order to do that, he actually killed one of Ryan's dominated war chiefs. So he actually battled against and took down part of Ryan's army. And at the same time, with this time moving forward, all of these other battles are getting resolved. Guys are moving up in the world. Hura Brawler won his duel. The other guy fled and ran away. So, you know, the situation's changing really dynamically. But we can still see Ryan's doing really well, actually, because on the pedestal at the back with the war chiefs, we can see those icons, and 2 of those 5
have we seen Brutalize yet?
I'm sure. I haven't been watching, Jess, but I'm pretty confident that if I had, we would have seen some serious brutalizing. Excellent. Yeah. So it's the one, basically, from stealth, as you go through the game, you actually have a bunch of different options for stealth attacks. You have your regular silent stealth kill if you're trying to move through and infiltrate quietly. You have your brutalized kill, which is a great way if you're going to enter from stealth into combat. And you also have that you can use your wraith powers to brand or dominate out of stealth as well. So you've got multiple options to use stealth. Okay.
Will the different skins have things that the normal skin can't do?
Oh yeah, that's a great question as well. So yes, the skins that are released do come with perks for the character as well. Yep.
Are you going to include any Kinect voice commands?
We haven't announced any.
Top secret information. Beep, beep, beep. Good question. Top secret information.
I love this one. So Stephen Umbrello, how significant is the identity of the Wraith in the current story or the historical context? So very and both.
Very and both.
Yeah.
Are there going to be side missions and rewards for side missions?
Yes, again, both. So, you know, as I sort of mentioned, you know, we're sort of focusing on the Nemesis system here, but this is only sort of one part of the game and part of the living world. We do have a really, you know, rich set of our story missions, our side missions, our challenge missions, exploring the world, finding collectibles, uncovering lore, uncovering history. So yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of those that we'll be excited to show later.
Is there going to be a collector's edition? Well, you know what? That's something that's being contemplated.
If there is, I'll buy it.
There you go. There's a super special edition that they're going to send to me privately. And that's it. And then I'll put it on eBay. You all can bid.
Okay.
What does halfling lover mean? No one has any idea.
It just means that, so that's a title. It's one of the many different titles that these captains can get for their personalities, and he has a particular affection for halflings, for the little people.
What does a sacrifice do? People saw it in the original gameplay demo.
So that was, yeah, well spotted. Whereas they actually probably won't have noticed it in this one. Really, basically, it was just terminology that we were trying to straighten up for the option of after you dominate someone, you still always have the option to kill them. Even if Ryan could probably show this as well, it won't make this fight any easier. But if we can see the guys with the blue icons on their heads that he's branded, if at any time he has unlocked the appropriate skill, he can just command those guys to kill themselves. They'll die, he'll get the XP, and he'll get the runes for that as well. So that guy on the right
looks like
sacrificed himself to Ryan's greater glory.
We got a question coming from Skype. What is it?
Yeah, actually, I have a couple questions, but I'll
Excellent.
My question is, in the campaign, how many hours or how long do you expect this campaign?
Yeah, it's, the only reason I sort of hesitate is because, you know, we're only really discovering that ourselves as we play test it.
Well, wait, let me add. Do you suck at? Are you a crappy game player? It could take you a really long time.
Yeah, that's the thing. 'Cause it does vary a lot, but even at the low end, even racing through it, even QA, you know, it's a good 20 hours plus. So it's good. There's a lot to do, you know. But the thing is, every time you play it, it's going to be different as well. So, but yeah, there's a lot of gameplay there.
What was your other question?
I actually had. Are the arrows only available in race mode?
Yeah, without, again, not too many spoilers, the arrows and the abilities of archery and so on really have a pretty strong connection to the Wraith and who he is. Yep.
Nice.
Is there an easy mode and hard mode, or just one kind of mode?
There's just the single mode, but what we've really tried hard to do with the Nemesis system, because it's so dynamic, is, you know, really give the player almost the tools to control their own difficulty. So if you want a really hard challenge, go straight after your enemies, deliver death threats, level them up, take it on that way. And you know, if you want it to be easier, sort of invest in upgrading your character. You can become extremely powerful, so you can take these guys down. And you know, invest. Just make sure that you get the intel, and at the very least, have a look at the strengths and weaknesses of these enemies.
Is there a way to counter attacks like in Assassin's Creed, or is it just hit them first before they hit you? That's not us. That's not us. That's Twitch. That's not us. Yeah.
Yeah. So the sort of core combat, the original foundation of the melee combat, was really very inspired by Arkham. So the triangle button or the Y button is your counter button as there's incoming attacks or multiple incoming attacks. Some attacks are uncounterable. So it's sort of built on a foundation of Arkham, but then of course, you know, very much its own thing because of how dynamic the combat is kind of in the living world.
Yapitz Tanks asks, can you explain how kill animations work? I'm assuming is that the slow-mo kill that they're talking about, or is there like some sort of play mechanic in the process of the kill animation?
Well, yeah, I think that's a really interesting question. One of the challenges is we obviously have a lot of fidelity on the animations and matching up and synchronizing all of the animations. We have a huge amount of variety in the attacks that the enemies can have. Plus we have the orc scale, so there's different sizes and everything still has to sync up. So basically it's a combination of a lot of systems, from the basic motion captured animation through to... Oh yeah, so
the question is, do you start at a graveyard or do you start at a checkpoint, respawning?
Actually, if any, like Bob or Jess or Ryan can go into the Wraith world for a second, anyone who's not kind of in combat, thank you. And we can see there's a number of these towers that we can see in the Wraith world, because basically the Wraith world gives us the ability to see into the past, you know, things as they used to be, as well as as they currently are. And those towers are the respawn points, and they're the places where the Wraith reforges Talion after you die and time moves forward. So yeah, you restart on those towers.
We got a Skype question from Twin Galaxies Live 1. Let's hear it.
Caster actually beat me to it. It is, are there going to be any DLCs coming out?
Oh, sounds like you have the stream running and your thing running. We're getting an echo.
It's not mine.
Who is that? Oh, it's Twin Galaxies Live 2. Matt, you want to mute that? Twin Galaxies Live 2. Sorry.
Never mind.
All right, it's done. Okay, can you ask your question one more time?
Catcaster actually asked it also. Is there going to be any DLCs after release, and if so, what kind?
I'm going to hand that to Kevin as well.
We have not announced anything at this point.
There you go. They
didn't hear me. We have not announced anything at this point in time. Is that nice and political enough?
Yep.
I'll tell you what, buy the game, all of you, and they're going to be forced to do some download content.
Yeah.
That's bottom line. Because they got to feed the beast. You know what I'm saying?
Already pre-ordered it.
Nice.
Excellent. Someone's an instant champion.
Excellent.
Are there any plans for the official release of the soundtrack?
Oh, wow.
I hope so.
Yeah, because it's pretty cool. to, you know, Nathan Grigg. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the fact that you're asking, yeah, definitely helps. So Nathan Grigg, our composer, did an amazing job, worked with Gary Shyman, so the soundtracks is pretty cool. And it's another one of those things, you know, because the game's so dynamic, so you might not get to hear